everyone! Welcome to another video. Today we are going to have some fun with the tactics challenge from Hack the Box. If you like solving puzzles and learning cool computer tricks, you will enjoy this video. Let's see how we can beat this challenge together. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Task 1. Which Nmap switch can we use to enumerate machines when our ping ECMP packets are blocked by the Windows firewall? Now, to answer this question, we can use the manual of Nmap. Nmap. Let's see what we have here. Okay, here we have -P_N, treat all hosts as online, skip host discovery. Well, this switch is very useful when dealing with host discovery, especially in environments where you suspect that ping probes might be blocked or filtered by firewalls. This switch will basically tell to Nmap to skip the host discovery phase entirely. Normally, Nmap first checks if the target is up before proceeding with more intensive scans like port scanning, version detection, or OS detection. So by using -P_N, Nmap assumes the host is up and directly proceeds to these detailed scans. Now, -P_N, -S_V and our IP. In this command, the switch -P_N is the one that we've talked about in this task. The switch -S_V determines service version information, okay? So let's run it. The answer to our task 1 is -P_N, okay? Don't forget that. Task 2. What does the three-letter acronym SMB stand for? Well, the acronym stands for Server Message Block. SMB is a network protocol primarily used for providing shared access to files, printers, and other network resources, okay? So, our answer is Server Message Block. Task 3. What port does SMB use to operate at? The default port is 445, and if you look at our output from Nmap scan, you will see that we have that port open, as you can see here. So, our answer is 445. Task 4. What command line argument do you give to SMB client to list available shares? To answer this question, we just need to go to SMB client manual. So, man SMB client, and let's see, and here we have list. So that's our answer, okay? -L. Now that we know all this about SMB client, we can try to list the shares. So let's do it. SMB client -L to list everything. Our IP address -P and our port 445 and -U. So in this command, the switch -L is used to list the available shares, as we saw on this task. The switch -U and then quotes sets the username to an empty string, effectively sending a blank username. So we are going to try to list all the shares without password and with a blank username, okay? And our -P, it's to specify our port, okay? Let's click enter. We click enter, so we don't insert any password. Okay, so we can list the shares with a blank username and password. Now we can search for common credentials to SMB, so let's do it. Let's see this one from 𝑭𝒐𝒏𝒈. In here we have possible credentials that we can use to see if we can list all the shares, okay? We already tried a blank username with a blank password and that didn't work. Now let's try the next set. So guest and a blank password. Guest. That didn't work either. Let's try the next one. So administrator with a blank password. And as you can see, we could list all our shares. So our username is administrator and we have a blank password, okay? So let's take this off because we don't need it anymore. Now let's move on to task 5. What character at the end of a share name indicates it's an administrative share? Well, the answer is the $sign. So that's our answer. And if you see on our terminal here, you can see that these shares have the $sign, which means that these are administrative shares. Task 6. Which administrative share is accessible on the box that allow users to view the whole file system? So the answer is the C share, so this one here. And access to this share exposes the entire file system on the C drive to the user, okay? So our answer is this one. Task 7. What command can we use to download files we find on the SMB share? The command is get. Task 8. Which tool that is part of the in-packet collection can be used to get an interactive shell on the system? The answer is 𝑭𝒐𝒏𝒈. 𝑭𝒐𝒏𝒈 is designed to execute commands remotely on Windows systems, similar to the 𝑭𝒐𝒏𝒈 tool from Microsoft's sysinternal suite, okay? Now, you can use the command to locate this tool. So locate, then 𝑭𝒐𝒏𝒈. I will use this one, so I need to copy first the path to the file, then I will open a new tab and change of directories to the examples directory, okay? Now, if you don't know how to use this tool, you just need to insert the name of the tool here on the terminal and click enter to see how you can use it. Now, as you can see, this is how you can use the tool. First, the username, then you put the password if you have one. However, we do not have a password, so we can just insert the @ this symbol here, and then the IP address, okay? And because we are not inserting a password, we can use the switch -no-pass. This switch will tell to the tool to not ask for a password, okay? So 𝑭𝒐𝒏𝒈, then our username, as you remember, the username is administrator, then our IP address. You passed it here, and then we pass the switch -no-pass. Now you run the command, and let's see. And we are in. Okay, now we can search for our file, and let's assume that the file that has our flag is called flag.txt, okay? Now, to search for our file in an easy way, we can use the command dir /S and then the name of the file. In our case is flag.txt. Let me just tell you that the switch /S is used to list the contents of the directory and all its subdirectories recursively. okay? But we are not running this command yet because, as you can see, we are inside of the system32 directory. However, our file could be located in a directory that is not a subdirectory of system32. So, since the dir /s command does not go back up to parent directories to search, it won't find flag.txt if it's outside the system32 branch. So, to ensure we search the entire C drive, we should first change to the root directory of the C drive using cd // okay? And as you can see, we are now in the root directory of the C drive, okay? Now, from the root directory of the C drive, which serves as the base directory, we can run our dir /S command flag.txt, and at this level there are no further directories above it, only below. Therefore, when we run the command, all directories and subdirectories starting from the root will be searched to find the file. And as you can see, our flag was found here in this directory, okay? As you can see, flag.txt, that's inside of this directory. So let's copy this and cd, we passed it here, we click enter, and as you can see, we are now inside of the desktop directory of the user administrator, okay? Now, dir, as you can see, our flag, it's here, so we use the type command to print the contents of the file called flag.txt on our terminal, okay? So, flag.txt, you click enter, and as you can see, we have here the root flag. Let me just show you the answer to our task, the ps_exec.py, and I will show you as well the root flag. As you can see, this flag is the same as this one. That's it for our tactics challenge video. I hope you had fun and learned something cool today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos like this, and click the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. And drop your questions or ideas in the comments because I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep hacking. Bye bye!